This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today what I'm going to cover, so let's decide here. So Terraform documentations. So here we have some of the stuff which we should know, and uh, that is something which is we are going to discuss about the workspace. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing, I'm going to discuss about the backend and backend. And third thing, I'm going to discuss about provisioner. Okay, so these are the three important topics which we
Mm-hmm.
have for today.
Okay.
So now the question is, what is provisioner? So it's simple word actually, provision. So you might have heard about this keyword, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I know what is
uh,
provision.
yeah, so which context?
No, it just provisions the resources, right? Provisioning.
Right. Yeah, provisioning. Same thing which you understood. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing. So provisioner is basically provision the resources in depth. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say you create a resources, okay, any resources for the sake of it,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you this is the arguments you provided, a lot of arguments, you know that uh, what is there in the supported by providers, correct now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the question is, let's say you have created these resources. So what exactly you want to do when this resources is being created? Let's say this resource is being created. So what you want to do after this resource is being created? So that you want to do something. So that is something which I'm saying is that's called provisioner. Now I don't know whether you understood or not. I'll put it in a one different way. Now, do you know the user data?
So with your first explanation, like what I understood is like we are provisioning a resource, like for example, like provisioning the EC2, right? And then there will be some other task that needs to be done after the resource is provisioned, like
Hmm.
maybe attaching the bucket to it, like some other, or even like attaching the storage to it, something like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Not that, because that's a part of the resource creation process only. Okay.
Okay, that's like a
For example,
subtask, right?
I'll put it in this way. You created a EC2 instance.
Okay.
After that, you do what? You do what? Think manually
I
first. You do what?
I would just validate from the platform side. I would just validate it whether it has been like provisioned in a with the right requirement, and
After that,
then
what you'll do? I'm talking the uses of resource.
so the user can use the EC2 instance for any of their need, right?
What?
Like um for example, like if they want to have, if they provision a database, if they want to store the data, like for example, if it is a pharmaceutical company or any kind of an data needs to be stored in the database, so they use the database, right? So such kinds of thing from user perspective, they will use the database, for example, for instance.
Correct. So that is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So that is what I'm talking about. Commands and script. So you will do what? You will log into the server
Mm-hmm.
and run some commands on script for something. App server, web server, database server, this, that, whatever. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about that one. So now my question was, do you know user data in AWS?
No.
Okay. So this is your homework. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go to sign in a console with AWS, and then when you create an account,
Mm-hmm.
me yes. So here EC2, I'll just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
and I'll create one instance here. Launch instance, and I'll go for the old experiences and selected that AMIs type. And do you see this one?
Okay.
User data. Okay.
Okay.
So this take a homework and you will do that. So basically I'll tell you from at a high level. Whenever you want to create an instance, and during the boot time, please hear me out clearly. During
Mm-hmm.
the boot time, if you want to run some command in the EC2 instance automated way, then feed these commands here, and this will be running during the boot, and then output will be given to you.
Got it, got it. So, for example, for instance, if I need to create an instance and if I want to install any software, and I can put that here so that when it gets provisioned, it will automatically install those softwares and it will be ready, right?
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay,
this is
I
a
get.
equal user data. In Azure,
Yeah.
we call it a custom data. Okay.
So we have to put the
So
script here.
yes, yes.
Okay, got.
Okay. So now the question is, what is a provisioner in Terraform? So provisioner basically is a way to do something once this resource is being created. One of the things which you can also do, connect and run some command. One of this.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to use user data, you can use provisioner. If you're using provisioner, you don't need user data. Simple.
So for example, like when we use the provisioner, the resource needs to be provisioned. Then only you can use the provisioner to do something on top
Correct.
of it, right? But
Correct.
user
Yes.
data
Exactly.
is something like while it just getting provisioned itself, it will be like the task will be completed. That is called user data, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
here, during the booting itself, this will be done. But
Mm-hmm.
here, once the resource is being created, after that, this will be done.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yeah, yeah, got it.
Yeah. So now the question is at the high level, I just said. So here, actually, there is a provisioner, multiple types of provisioners. What I'll do, just simply go to the Terraform and provisioners.
Mm-hmm.
And here, these are the multiple types of provisioners which we have. Okay. Now, which are the type? So we have a multiple type which include a file. We have remote exec also, file exec also, local exec also, and now chef also is there. Puppet is also there. Now, and salt is also there. Habitat and all are also there. But in this session, I'll talk about only this one because chef puppet, if you know, then probably you will understand. Else, it will not just a use of no use of it. These three provisionals are important one. Now,
So
let me
as you
talk
said,
about.
Chef and Puffer, do Ansible also come in this list?
No, you don't need Ansible here. The
Okay.
reason is Ansible is based on SSH and there's no agent required for it. So that's the
Yeah.
reason we don't need Ansible. But Chef agent required, Puppet agent required, Salt agent required actually. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this will I'll discuss this. So now here if I go look at this here, provisioner. This is the file provisioner, local exec provisioner, remote exec provisioner. This is most important. Now you
Mm-hmm.
have a chef also, habitat also, puppet also, salt also. So
Mm-hmm.
if you do the configuration management and all, then you can use it. Now the question is, what is the file provisioner is doing? Okay, remember that very important statement. File provisioner will be executed after the resources created. Okay, this is an
Okay.
important statement. Remote exec provisioner always will execute after the resource created, and local exec provisioner also will do that after the resource created. Make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
Got it? So now the
So
question is what?
in this case, only the user data will only be done like while the resource is getting booted, right?
Bootstrapping. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
User did because that's a part of resource only,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a part of. So now the question is, what is the file provisioner? So I'll create one image so it'll be easy for you to understand. So here, this is my desktop, and this is you. I mean, this is your desktop, and this is you. Now here, Terraform script is there, and installation is also here. Now
Mm-hmm.
AWS is here, and here this is the AWS resource instance you are trying to create. Okay, and this is the Terraform code. So now the question is, what is a file provisioner? So file provisioner will copy, please understand that, copy files from your host to resources. Files means copy files, files directory also. Okay, from your host, which is your host, this is your laptop, right?
Yeah.
To this machines. Are you understanding?
So can you come again with that part, with the last part?
So this
Uh-huh.
will file provisioner will be executed after the resource created,
This is
means
good.
after the box created, and
Okay.
after that it will copy the files and directory which is from here to the host resources which is here,
Okay. Okay.
copying
Okay.
the file.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
now that you remember that for the copying the files, you need a connection from where? Here to here. Correct now? And
Yeah.
then you need what files you want to copy, source and directory and also like that. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is called file provision. Now remote exec will do what? Remote exec provisioner will do very simple thing. First thing, once this after this resource creation is done, remote exec provisioners from this machine using the Terraform, they will log into this machine. Okay, login, which is says
Mm-hmm.
connect.
Like a
Connection
remote
is,
RDP, like an RDP,
yeah,
like remote connection.
yeah,
Okay.
RDP or SSH and all stuff like that. Okay,
Okay.
depends on the operating system. He will connect, and after that, it will do what? Second thing, execute some commands and script in the remote sources, in the remote resources. That means if the EC2 instance is created, after that your Terraform will connect to that EC2 instance with the protocol like SSH and WinRM or whatever it is, PowerShell or whatever it is, and then it will run the script here. So first you copy the script using this, and then run the script here. Whatever the script, I don't care. Command whatever, I don't care. Make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now the question is, what is a local exec will be doing? So local exec is completely opposite. So local exec will do something which is only after the resource created, and do what is here, run the local command and script in host machine. Host machine means this is your laptop. Here it will run. Are you understanding?
Okay, so it means like even if the script is running in the host, the task will be completed on the on the instance, right? On the resources.
On the no. Instance EC2 is created, but after that it will run some script here, which is located here only in your box.
Okay.
This is called
Okay.
local exec.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
So
let's say you
nothing
say,
will
hey,
be, yeah, nothing will be happening on the EC2 instance then
no,
for the
no.
local
In
exit.
this,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
for this two, it will happen in the remote resource,
Yeah.
but for
Okay.
here, it will happen in your host machine only.
Got it. Got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So these
Mm-hmm.
are the three resources which is a very important. If you don't use the tools like user user
Data.
data, then you
Mm-hmm.
can use this stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
Now
okay.
the question is, what is example? So let's use this Terraform Pro. Let me copy paste this provisioners. Enter. So here, this is the Terraform provisioners. So let's say first I'll show you that one code is, I think this code is a perfect one. Okay, here.
Mm-hmm.
First understand the code and then I will run it. So here what you have, what you are doing, AWS instance you are creating. Correct? Correct? Are you able to see that?
Sorry, I'm talking in mute. Yes.
Yeah. So this is the AWS instance which you are creating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After that, you look at this here, opening braces, and for
Mm-hmm.
this closing is this one. Okay.
Okay.
Inside it, you have added connection. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
connection for only file and remote.
Okay.
Okay. So connection. How do you connect? So for that user ID is Ubuntu. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now key is a in the same file is a function. Okay. File is a
Mm-hmm.
function. It should be in the same directory. Okay. This is the PM file. Now here, while creating a EC2 instance, you have used the PM file which was already updated. Make sense? In the server.
Okay.
Getting
Mm-hmm.
it? Getting it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here, this is the PM file I have in the same directory by the way. Okay. And
Okay.
connection to this particular username with this key, but to where? So self-host means public. Self means it's a self property, and public IP which is a output variable. I mean show status. I mean Terraform state file actually. Okay, public.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the for connection. After that you do local exec. So once this instance is created, you will do the local exit. What you are doing? Just running that some touch command. It can be any command for the sake of. It can be PowerShell command, shell command, or whatever you want it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a simple command. It's a local exec. That means this file should be created in my laptop. Correct now?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
that there is no authentication required. But
Okay.
for remote exec, you see, provisioner remote exec, you are installing these are the things. Update, install Apache, restart the Apache, and all blah blah blah. Get it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the remote exec. Now, if you want to copy some files, then you use provisioner file. What is the source? From current directory, this is the source, and where it should be copied inside the EC2 instance under the
Temp. Mm-hmm.
TMP folder.
Mm-hmm.
Understood this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's do this code, and after that we'll try
Mm-hmm.
this one. So long code is not required theoretically if you understand. So copy this code and what I'm doing right now, preparation actually we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Demo 3. This is the one. Now main.atf I'll just call it main.atf. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now open this file. Done. Now the only thing is this is a US West 2. This AMI you can find in the US West 2. So
Mm-hmm.
let me go to US West 2, cancel US West 2 which is Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need a PM file, okay,
Mm-hmm.
because I need this. So how do we create a here security key pairs, and here I have a few key pairs. I'll delete this. It's an older one. And I'll create one more new cube here. And this should name it Rajesh last because I don't want to change the code.
Okay.
So create a key pair, and I want to create not a PPK, I need a PEM and create it. I have this PEM file,
Mm-hmm.
and here let me just download it here, here, and I'll just copy inside the demo tree because I'm using the current path only. If you see that in a connection here, I'm using file is a function, it is
Mm-hmm.
a current path. Okay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so I just copy this file, Rajesh last is there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now the next thing is provider. I need to set it up, and for that what I am doing is I'm just copying this code from the last day, and AWS is, I think this is the provider here, and this is the one, and copy this code in my main.tf. I'll put it in the same file, hardly it matters.
Mm-hmm.
And here, now this one, first region should be the this one, and next one I should change this one. So for that I will generate one more time this securing credentials. I think yesterday I had generated it, but I forgot where I kept it.
Mm-hmm.
So here I generating this key, and this one. So I believe all this preparations work I did it. Here this is the touch, it's local exec, this is the Ubuntu commands, and this is the file I want to copy. This file is there or not, I'll need to validate.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it actually. No. I have it. No. So let's create one file to copy. I'll just name this file itself copy to copy. To copy, and this is some dummy content I just putting it. To copy.txt. So here this file should be to copy.txt. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And then the destination should be in the Ubuntu machine 10. So far so good. Any questions? Any doubts?
No. No. It's
Okay.
clear.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm not using the command line. I'm using the PowerShell. I mean Git Bash. Why? Because here local exec touch you don't have in the Windows actually. I think
Mm-hmm.
so. I'm going for Bash. You can use any other things. So first thing, the first command you have to do, the one done which you know, that is called init.
So Raj, like I can also use the Visual Studio, right? Even for execution and
Yeah, yeah,
even code.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In the Visual Studio, you have a console, right? You can use
Yeah.
that one also. Yeah,
Okay.
any console you can use. People are using that one only, but because many people they don't use that console, so it will become challenging for me.
Okay. No issues.
So they keep prompting me saying that where you are running, how you are running. So just to easier stuff, I just use the putty or console, putty or get bash.
Mm-hmm.
So let's download this. Okay, done. So finally, plan. I'll just skip it. I just want to show you apply. Now I'll just go to my area, which is Oregon.
US space
Go
2.
back. Yeah, here it is, and let it come. EC2 instance. Here it is. This is Oregon. and I'm just waiting for it. Let's see. Okay, so what has happened? By mistake, I clicked enter, so it got cancelled. So I have to be little patient this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here, yes. Now one resources will be created and all this thing I'm expecting to happen. So let's look at this. You see that here connection is happening,
Mm-hmm.
connecting to by SSH. I used bash because of SSH only. It'll be
Yeah,
easier
and
for
then
us.
yeah, and then user Ubuntu and
Yeah.
yeah.
See, this has happened actually. So can we validate? So go to this demo. Touch C. This file got created. So
Yeah.
local exec has been done. Now
Mm-hmm.
remote exec is being done. See here, file copy local exec, remote exec is being done, and this is the remote exec.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think file exec was last one. File was last one.
Mm-hmm.
So now we create it. So almost, yeah, done. So here this is taking because you are installing, update Apache, starting all these things taking time.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So should be done. Let me refresh.
Mm-hmm.
See here, the box has come here. See now the IP address is 54218. Let me check.
Mm-hmm.
54218, correct?
Yes, yeah.
And so provisioner is time consuming work actually.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm also thinking. It's take a while right now.
yeah. So until this AWS will not confirm that this is available, this will not try to connect. That's the problem. You can also see that this machine
Mm-hmm.
and security groups is okay. So now it should be done by now because check has been passed. It's taking little time as than expected. This is a problem that AWS is not able to confirm that this is created. Should confirm as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do one thing more. I will check in the other console. Okay, yeah. So there is some error has happened. The error
Okay.
is
Timeout.
timeout issues. So
Okay.
here I'll just check whether it's really able to connect or not. So SSH-I and the ticket is private key is key name Rajesh-last.
Mm-hmm.
Manually checking that Ubuntu username and then IP address. Now this is the problem. So that is a actually that has a problem. So that's the reason I'm not able to access. Now the question is where is the wrong things. So IP address is 58 to 1 correct. Port number 22 is correct. And it could not resolve host name. So could not resolve ping. Let me ping this. This IP address is not reachable actually from my machines. This is the problem. So I feel that it could be security issues, security groups related issues. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
just correct it manually. Just a second. And this is a security group. And I don't think so. There's a problem here. Still, I will edit. All traffic is open, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So go to uh, mm, can you ping this IP address from your machine? See if I have a problem in my laptop or not.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
ping from your machine
Yeah.
because
So I have to
AWS
do
I don't see any.
command prompt, right?
This yeah ping 54.218.28.94.
Yeah, just give me a second. 218. Dot 94.
Got it? What is this? Reply is coming.
No, no, it's taking a while here. Just let me.
Let me change the security group. Delete, add custom to all traffic from everywhere. Save it. And I just redo the stuff. Pingable. Okay, so one thing I can sense that, and that is maybe in the this AMIs itself. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
think one thing I can sense, yeah. So one thing I can sense is that maybe in this machine itself the firewall is enabled by default. So okay, wait. I can get IP address correct.
It says like request timeout only for me if I ping the IP.
Yes, okay. This IP address is a problem.
Yeah.
Security group, no problem. I'll change the same code, but I'll change the EMI IDs actually. I'm doubting that could be a problem. So for that, what I'll do, first thing, destroy this Terraform destroy, and now I'll go ahead and change the one different AMIs. I'll just give it because the AMIs which I used, I don't know if they have changed some properties of it or not.
Yeah, maybe the my issue. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to use this Ubuntu, which is 22, and the MIID is for this is this is the one. So okay, so now after that getting deleted, I'm going to create one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, done. Now apply one more time. Terraform apply. Yes. So I hope this time will not
Mm-hmm.
get trouble. So default security groups, the one which you have it. I am not stopped it. I mean, I am not blocked anything. So I'll just check one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So everything is open. So there's no blockage. So let's see that. So let's go to instances and refresh. Okay. So local exec as expected completed. Remote
Mm-hmm.
exec is trying to do that. Meanwhile, what I will do, I will also check that if I am able to access ping that machine from separately or not.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the machines. This is the IP address I got it. and ping IP address. So far strange. Uh, no, there's a problem with there's something with the IP address of AWS
Mm-hmm.
because I just did this and security group everything. Okay, let me check the networking also.
Okay.
So okay, it's not a problem with Terraform, but it's definitely a problem with some AWS settings. What I will do, I will not waste time. Rather
Mm-hmm.
than I'll change the region because Oregon I have not touched from last many times.
Okay.
So I don't want to go and see all options and all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to destroy this one more time and this time change the region quickly. So the stable region which I'm having is Mumbai, which I'm using,
Mm.
and here launch EC2 instance. So let me change the Mumbai region. So this is the one, and for that this is the MIIDs 22 version. This is the MIIDs, and now I need keys. So for that I'm going to cancel. So this one I'm going to use one keys which I'm having is Rajesh Mumbai. So let me go and get it, Rajesh Mumbai. Rajesh Mumbai. Copy this here, demo 3, and copy this key, and I'm going to use Rajesh Mumbai key name, and here. So now I think I just changed everything in the Mumbai
Mm-hmm.
region, and now one more time apply. Okay, so one more time apply.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now it's creating. Let me see in the Mumbai region is got created or not. So Rajesh Kumar, the VM has come at least. But that was coming last time also. The IP address should be accessible from my host, my laptop to AWS.
Yeah.
So I got IP address. Let me ping first to check if it's working. Ping. Yep, this is done. Now you have
Awesome.
it.
Uh-huh.
So this is done. So now I don't know what was the region in the that region, but maybe because my student is using also, so they might have done some changes and all. Okay. So
Okay.
this is the things which you right now apt command is running actually. These are the here. Okay. Now after that, see done. So can we validate first? So I want to validate this one Apache installed and started or not. So
Yeah.
let's use the IP address which is here. Sorry, IP address is see it's running. Now local file anyways we validated last time also. And copy is also done. I saw that logs here,
Mm-hmm.
here. See. Okay, so this is the provisioner. Did you understand that? Any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, no, Raj, like I think I have to do some practice on that to get familiar with it. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I will do that.
Now next topic is workspace. So what is
Mm-hmm.
workspace? So first to understand the problem, let me show you the diagram first.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do actually, this is your laptop and this is you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now in your laptop, you have some directory X, and inside this directory, there are a lot of TF program. Now when you apply, let's say against AWS or any provider as such, then
Mm-hmm.
how many state files get created?
For one provider, one state file, right?
No, no, not one provider. For one project, one directory, one
Okay.
state file. Correct? Correct, no?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the problem is now think simple, okay? Now you created on AWS dev environment. Now suddenly you want to use same code for the creating QA environment. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
what will be the problem? Now let's say if you want to create same code for the dev environment and you want to use the same code for QA environment. Little bit of variable will be changed. But because of TF file is there in the same directory, TF file will say, hey, you have already created that resources. So see, Terraform is not having any knowledge on dev environment and QA environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting my
Mm-hmm.
points?
Yeah.
Terraform has no knowledge. So it will say, hey, you have already run this resources. We have already run it. It's up to date. There's no change in the code and stuff like that. So it will not create the resources. Are you
Mm-hmm.
understanding?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes sense.
So
Yeah.
what you will do? What you will do? Typically, you will do what? You will create one more directory and then copy this code here, TF duplicate code here, and then you will run against this QA server, and then QA environment will be created. I mean against the AWS server and QA environment will be created. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
This is the alternative. Correct?
Yeah.
So here also you one TF file will be there for the QA environment, and here also one state file will be there for dev environment.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want that. The question is very simple. We have code at one place and using this code we can deploy the same code to dev environment, QA environment, production environment, and for each environment there should be different state file in this directory only. How can we have it? The only thing is you want to have a same code. You don't want to duplicate the code and for some different directories, but you want to have a, for each developed environment, you want to have a different state file. How do we do that? Did you understand that problem?
Yeah, I got the problem here.
Yeah. So that problem is solved by Terraform in terms of workspace. Okay, let me show you. So here, by default, you were actually working with one workspace, unknowingly. What was the name of the workspace? This is called default workspace. Let me show you here. Workspace list. So this is the command to create a, see here, default workspace. That means one directory where you have one state file, that by default, that is a default workspace, we call it. Knowingly, unknowingly, you are working. So now the question is, how can I create multiple workspace, same code, but multiple state file? Same code, but multiple file. How can you do that? So here, there is a command for it. You see, you want to create a new workspace, you want to list out the workspace, you want to show the workspace, you want to select the workspace, you want to delete the workspace. Of course, I want to create a new workspace and which is called dev. Now, if you see that, how many workspace you have got? Two, default and dev. Right now, I want to see that which is I am into. So here, by default, I am into default workspace. Sorry, dev workspace because I created
Mm-hmm.
and switch. See here, create and switch to the dev workspace. So can I go and select the default again back? See here, default. I selected. I'm in the default workspace. Now, see here, default workspace. Can I go and work switch back to the dev workspace? So
Yeah,
here,
then
select
select div.
dev. Yeah. So now the question is, okay, how it is differentiating the state file. So remember that first time I have already applied. That's the reason you saw that this output, correct? That was
Mm-hmm.
in the default workspace, correct?
Yeah.
So if I see Terraform show, I see nothing. See nothing. See no state file. Why?
Because we will be
Because in
dev.
the I
Yeah,
did not
we
run it. The same
yeah,
code I did not run it.
got it.
But
Mm-hmm.
if I go and in a default, I'll see all the resources which I created just now. Correct?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now
makes
if
sense.
I run Terraform apply for this workspace, which is a dev workspace, the same code I am using it, but for the different environment, dev environment. Okay, variables you may have a changes, some input and all this thing, but yeah. See here. Now one resources to add, one to change and all stuff like that. And now you see
Mm-hmm.
that here, refresh it. See here, one more code created. See,
Mm-hmm.
one for dev, one for default, one for dev. Okay. So now the last important question is where's the state file actually? So state file for this will be stored inside. This is the directory. See here dev. This is the state file for dev and
Mm-hmm.
this is the state file for default. So
Default.
if you create
Okay.
a more workspace, here it will, let's say production and stuff like that. Here you have a more workspace, more state file will be stored. So this
Mm-hmm.
way, the advantage of it, you don't have to change the directory, you don't have to duplicate the code. One code, which is one code, and you are running on the default and dev and pre-prod and prod. Are you understanding?
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Now here, if you look at this, there's some failure. Now the failure is what? Why? So the failure has happened. Okay, this is not a failure which is Terraform failure. During
Mm-hmm.
the during the installation, this is a temporary failure. During the running this command, maybe some problems, and because of that, it has some problem. You see that reading the packages. This is the installation activities inside that. So it's not a
Mm-hmm.
Terraform problem. It's a problem with that command. So what do we do in this case? Nothing, we just need to destroy and apply one more time, it will fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Internal problem, it's a apt commands problem, maybe some unable to correct the problem, failed and all stuff like that. So it's Apache issues.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the workspace. So now like this, what you can do, being at one place, you can work with the default dev QA environment, production environment, change the variable and deploy, I mean apply. So that's the advantage of workspace which you have. You can select, you can list, you can create, you can delete, and all this thing you can do easily. Understood?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so now this is the topic for the day. Now next topic which we have is, should I complete this one also, backend?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So now what is backend? So think simple. Now let's say if you are working alone on some project, then everything is good. This is you, and this is your laptop, and this is your colleague, and this is their laptop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now two things you have to always remember: Terraform file, which is there, and state file. Terraform file and state file, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, how do you update the Terraform changes? So probably using the Git you can do that very well, correct now?
Mm-hmm.
You change the code, you commit into a Git, he will pull it and he'll get the code correct now?
Yeah, the updated codes. Yeah, through the
Ha.
GitHub, they have
But
the
you know
update.
what? There'll be problem. Let's say, think simple, okay? You modify the code and you apply that. AWS it has got. And
Mm-hmm.
state file of this got modified, correct?
Okay.
Now he will also, you are working as a team, okay? So he'll also apply that code, but for him the state file, that resources were not showing actually, because you it got updated your state file, not his state file, correct? So what will happen? Again this Terraform code will create the resources which you already created.
Okay.
Are you getting my points?
Yeah, so okay, let me tell you what I understood. So, for
Huh.
example, for instance, A is creating the resource within. So both are getting the updated codes from the GitHub, and then this guy is creating a resource, and then a state file is created, and parallelly,
Updated.
yeah, updated. But my question is, so in a team, like, why do both of them are creating the same resource?
See, you are not creating a same resources actually. You are updating the resources. That's what I'm saying. See,
Okay.
you are working as a team, and you say,
Uh-huh.
hey, you talk to Ramu and say, hey, Ramu, you have to work with the load balancer, man. I'm working on this DNS servers. So what will
Okay.
happen? What will happen? He added the DNS server for the same project, and you
Mhm.
added a load balancer. Now you applied, share the code. So now you have a load balancer and DNS services code, and you applied, and everything got created here. But now he is, if he is running that code, then for him the state file says, hey, I have not created DNS server. I don't have entries of DNS server. So what, again they will create a DNS server entry. So
Okay.
duplicate work will happen. Why this is
Okay.
happening? Because this state file of what you have and what he has is not in sync.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Correct now?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
remember, add, edit, and update, Terraform inform depends on the state file, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now the question is, how do we solve it? So the solution is nothing but simple. You will say, and he will say, hey, let's do one thing. Let's not use your state file here and here. Let's keep it state file somewhere in the central location. And every
Okay.
time you apply, or he will apply this, every time this state file will be modified instead of local one. Got
Mm.
it?
Yeah, makes sense.
So
Okay.
that means if you apply and the state file got to modify the remote one, which he has a local one is already set. But for this, if even though if you said apply, nothing will happen, saying that those resources already been created and state file has that entry. Make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
So now the question is, how can I inform my Terraform? How can I inform my Terraform is that, hey, don't store the state file locally, but update remotely. Make sense?
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is where the backend is coming in the picture. So backend is a way to store the remote file remote. Simple. Okay. So backend is a way to store the state file remote. So now
Mm-hmm.
you'll say, okay, what is the location? So you see here, multiple supports are there for the backend. I want to show you this whole documents has been modified. And where's the list of backends? No, I want, this is one. So here, these are the list of backend supported. You can use, just a second.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you the list actually. Hmm. All codes are there, but list is not missing. So, it's here, available backend. See here. So, which are the backend is available for you? So, local, which the one which you already know, but
Mm-hmm.
these are the one. Artifactory you can use, Azure ARM you can use, etcd you can use, etcd v3 you can use, GCS Google Cloud also you can use, Kubernetes
So
also you can use config map.
all are centralized remote state files.
These are the storage where you can store the remote
Okay,
backends, a
okay,
remote
okay,
storage
got
file.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here you have
Mm-hmm.
AWS S3. So because we are heavily using AWS S3, I'm going to show you that how can we replace the default backend, which is the local, to the remote backend. So here, let me see which workspace I am right now.
I think in dev.
Yeah, I'll move into the default now. First thing, so default,
Select default.
yeah, workspace, select default. So now I'll go into that resources already I have created. I know that. So let me validate. One resources should be here. Yes. So this is the one resources. Okay. So now what to do? So I'm going to tell Terraform, hey Terraform, don't store the state file local, but
Mm-hmm.
rather store in the S3. How do I
S3.
inform it? So how do I inform it? So this is the code which is there, which is to set the backend.
So
But you
Raj,
know
like,
what? To
so in order
Yeah.
to store our state file in the S3, don't we need to create an S3 first?
Yes, that's what I'm doing actually. So
Okay,
here, this
okay.
is the code actually, and
Mm-hmm.
Terraform block 2 is not allowed. So I'll just copy this one only, and copy paste here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So backend 2 Terraform is not allowed. So here, this is close, and this is open. This is closed, this is open, this is closed. Yeah, so this is the backend. Now the question is, what is this? So this is the bucket name actually. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
go to AWS is S3, and here you have to go and create a backend. Okay, so one S3 I am going to use it,
So
bucket.
you're manually creating for instead for time being you're
Yes,
manually
just a second,
okay.
just a second. Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Raj,
Hello.
yes.
Hey, sorry, I think my battery got off. So
Mhm.
till what time you heard me?
No, you were like creating the S3 manually on the AWS console, right?
Okay, okay, yeah.
You said the time
So
being, let's create it manually.
yeah, can you see my screen?
Uh, it's very small on the bottom. It, it does not come up big for me. It's down. I don't know. It's very small.
Let me reshare one more time.
Uh-huh.
Now
No, I don't know what to do. But let me. No,
maximize this window.
sorry. No, I usually I will maximize the window, but the issue here is let me check. No, the issue here is I can see both your screens. The top one says just DevOps School, your the meeting you were in, and then the down a
No, no,
small.
no. I'm sh- I'm showing you the notepad actually only.
That's what I'm saying. The
Okay.
notepad comes at the bottom, very small.
No, no, no. Can you exit and rejoin? Probably it will fix that issues.
Yeah, sure, I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's perfect now. Yeah.
Okay, so now see, this is the backend. So I'm informing Terraform, hey Terraform, don't store the local state file. Rather, what you do, store in the remote location. This is the state file. So what to do? So I have to create one backend. So this is the art dub dub dub. This S3 I am having it. Okay, so I'm using
Mm-hmm.
this as a bucket. Now where it should be stored? So I'll create one directory for this. This is the August, right? And create this. So AUG is August, and the here path we have to set AUG. Okay, what is the
Mm-hmm.
region? What is the region for this? So I think this bucket I created for AP South one, AP South one,
Mm-hmm.
one. That's all. So now I inform Terraform from now onwards. Just keep this as a remote backend, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to run in it once actually.
So
Terraform
the backend, so the command you put like backend, which actually means it will save the state file in the S3. That's what the backend and
S3.
then S3
Ah,
means. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
correct. Yes. Yes. So now in it I have to run it because backend will be configured. See here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
initializing the backend. There is some issues. The issues is credentials. Surprise actually. Okay, no problem. I'll set the credentials also. So for
Mm-hmm.
that, I need to set up these two copy things. So just again, let me fix this. I have a copy paste code. I'll just copy it. Terraform backend. So they are asking to explicitly set the credentials. That is the things. Yeah. So what is backend? I should have that code actually, but no problem. So backend S3 with this one. So I'll just go for this. They read the documentation and what they are asking to pass that key done. So pass this access key which is here. I'll just copy paste just like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. Okay, so I see that both the variables you have in the arguments of that backend. So region is there, access key is there, secret key is there. That's all we needed.
Mm-hmm.
And now in it. And now automatically for me, it will be transferring the backend to the S3.
Mm.
And you have to also feed this data. I mean, you all because you are anyways getting the my code only. through the
Mm-hmm.
pull. So for you also the backend will be S3 same.
Okay,
Okay.
makes sense.
So now it's done. Can we go and check that
So
backend transfer has happened?
yeah, and then we can go into the S3 and to check the state file, right?
Yeah, yeah. So here you see there's no as of now file, but
Mm-hmm.
here it says you have initialized. So what to do? So
Then
Terraform, yeah, apply or destroy. I have to do the first, I think. Destroy because
oh, I think the spell is wrong.
and then apply one more time. And this
Mhm.
time the backend should be and the state file should be here.
The S3. Oh, okay, makes sense. Shall we use even Azure Blob storage to store the
Yes,
state
yes.
file? Okay.
Any S3 is also block storage. Azure has also block storage,
Mm-hmm.
and Google also block storage. So many types which is supported here. I showed you
Mm-hmm.
that
But it
location, right?
depends on what platform client used, right?
Yes, you can use a Kubernetes also, config map and all. You can very much.
Mm-hmm.
Many options are there. See here, Azure RM is there,
Mm-hmm.
and Google GCS is there. S3
Mm-hmm.
is there. Kubernetes is there. These are the popular one. Rest of the
Okay.
things are like hardly used actually.
Okay.
And apply. So yes. Okay. See, the file has come. You should check this here. So here, if you see this OAG is a file name actually. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I should have given like this, then it's a folder name. So what has
Okay.
happened? AOG is a file name which you got created. This is a file, and this is the
Mm-hmm.
manual folder I created. So this
Okay.
file, if you see, is got updated.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the way, you know, this is the way
We
you
can
should
create a yeah
backend.
store.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the topics. Now, next topic which we'll cover, that is some of the topics which I can recall now. One is function, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is template, and a few more topics I need to check the agenda also and stuff like that. Again, next week when you're coming, bring your topics also, so that way it will be useful for me also. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Raj.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. Bye. Yeah.